Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Trudger MC, and yes, you read the title correct. We are back at it again with the McFarlane Toys Spawn action figures. Today we're looking at She Spawn, also known as Jessica Priest, also known as this girl right here. I think she's super cool. But anyway, so here she is. I guess we might as well get some comparisons out of the way right off the bat. So here she is with Spider-Man. I think that that's actually a pretty good scale. And then if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I've looked at some classic figures, and that includes the original She Spawn and a completely different scale, so it makes sense that she look a lot smaller. And then we also have, since this is Jessica Priest, we also have the original Jessica Priest from the Spawn movie. And yeah, again, completely different scale, but it's cool seeing these up against each other. And then as far as how tall she actually is, why don't we find out together? So from the bottom of her heel to the top of her head, let's say she's about 7.5 inches. That's including the top of her little hair poof thing. Or that translates to, let's say, about 19 centimeters, give or take. So here she is, and I have to say this is a really cool figure. I always thought that this design was, really interesting and kind of wild and out there. And like reading the comics, I just kind of got used to this design. I was like, yeah, that's what She Spawn looks like. But if you look at this objectively, it this design is kind of all over the place. But I mean, this is Spawn, so I think that that totally works in its favor. I mean, just look at this super long, billowing hair. It's kind of like got this orange, like yellowish hint to it that makes it look like, what people call red hair, even though it's, let's face it, that's objectively not red, it's more orange, but it definitely fits what most people call red hair. So I like that. And I also think it's funny that, like, Jessica Priest, when she's not in this getup, her hair isn't that long, so then when she becomes She Spawn, she just has massive extra hair. And I will say it does make her really heavy, and it does impede her articulation. But you'll see what that's all about in just a little bit. But yeah, so there's that. I think that the head sculpt itself looks really good from what you can see. I mean, it does have a nice sculpt to it. I like the Spawn eyes there with the red mask. It's kind of like a cherry type color, I would say. Then you got this nice white I don't know what you would call that, kind of like a sandy white color, and then you got those nice green eyes underneath that, and then you have her face underneath that, so that looks really good. And then, of course, you have this really cool leather jacket that has all these wrinkles and folds and all of that. It makes it look like it's a real leather jacket, and a real small one at that, because it only goes up to about here. And yeah, but for what it is, I think it looks good. And then you do also have a skull clasp on there, if you would call it a clasp. I don't know what exactly that is. Then you do also have this skull thing on the shoulder here with these chains on it, and it is a soft plastic. It doesn't really get in the way. But yeah, so she does have that on that side, and on this side she has a little ammo pouch, bandolier thing, whatever this is supposed to be. So she's got some ammo there, and there's a reason for that if you take a look at her accessories, which we will after we look at the figure. And I do also like how both of the arms have these spikes all around the side of the arm here. And they're not too sharp, but I think that it's a nice detail that she has that on both sides. And you'll see how that fits in with the articulation in just a little bit. But yeah, and then for the hands, you got more spikes on there, kind of like a brass knuckle type thing, even though they're a silver color. Yes, so she's got these spikes on her hands there, so that looks pretty good. And then we go into the She Spawn attire, proper with the iconic, M look there. You can't really tell it's supposed to be an M like this, but that is what it is. If you know Spawn, you know what's up with that. But yeah, and then I like how there's a chain that just kind of goes around as kind of like a belt. And yes, she does have a little bit of a cake there. In case you're wondering, this is a McFarlane figure after all. But yeah, so there's that, and then you do get on this side, you get some nice black, it's kind of like a dark gray, kind of like a matte black, I guess, that's on that side that is strapped to some spikes. I don't know why she would just have a thing of spikes on her arm. It's not really a holster for a weapon, so I don't know what's up with that. And then you have on this side, you get, like a little black boot thing with some leather on there. It's got some studs up here, and then it's got some spikes at the bottom of the shoe there, and then it kind of wraps around and turns into this white taper or whatever that is. And then you get kind of the same thing, just a longer version of it on this side. You got some more spikes on this boot, and then you got some spikes along the edge here, and that just keeps going up higher. And it's just kind of the same kind of design, but it gives it a nice asymmetrical look. I kind of like the asymmetrical look, and yeah, I think this is pretty cool. And I will say for articulation, she's pretty good, but definitely limited up here. So not that she's like, dumb or anything, but you know what I mean. So she can look up, basically none at all, and she can look down, basically none at all. She can rotate the head a little bit, but that's about it. So yeah, it is a ball peg, but the hair definitely gets in the way of that. So she can't really move her head all that much, so just be warned with that. With the shoulders, this one can go up about that far comfortably without messing up the skull thing too much, but the other one can go up all the way out, which is pretty good. And then, of course, you do get rotation, all the way around on this side. Theoretically, you get the same on this side, but really that's about as far back as you can go with the hair. So there you go. And then you do get a bicep swivel up here, so that's pretty good. Then you do get a double jointed elbow, and this is what I thought was kind of cool with the spike details here, is that there's actually, if I can show it off, there's actually a couple of spikes there on the elbow joint itself. And so if I can show this off, I think this is kind of cool. But yeah, so you have, here we go. Yeah, so if we go like that, you can see that there are actually two spikes right there on the elbow joint. And so it does kind of break up the sculpt a little bit if you have her arm bent. But yeah, I think it's still cool that they did that nonetheless, because they could have gone, without the spikes on there, and there would have been even bigger gaps. So I think that that's cool that they did that. You do also get a, a rotation and a hinge with the wrist. So there you go. And then for the torso, if you use both of the joints, she can go back only about that far, and then she can go forward only about that far. So not a whole lot of movement, but you do get some, rotation and some, rocking a little bit. So there you go. For the legs, they can go out, I would say, about that far without stretching the diaper piece too much. So I think that that's fine. They do go forward a good amount, and they go back a little bit. So there you go. There's that. And then you do get a little bit of a thigh swivel there, just a small amount, but still there nonetheless. You do get a tight, very tight, double-jointed knee, but yeah, if you've seen the McFarlane figures, you know what these knees are capable of. Mine is just very tight, but yeah, there we go. So there's that. I think that that's pretty good. And then you do, of course, also get the, oh my goodness, this is so tight. You do also get the ankle joint, so it goes back a little bit, it goes forward just a little bit. You do get some side to side and a little bit of pivoting because there's kind of a ball joint. It's hard to see, but it is there. It's just really obscured by the boot detail. So yeah, so there you go. That's about it for the articulation. Now you might be wondering, that's it for the figure. Why does she have this massive box? I mean, we'll look at the box momentarily, but yeah, I think before we look at the box, we should look at what else is in the box. So, first thing of note, she comes with one, count it, one alternate hand. And it's just an alternate left hand. And she does have two trigger finger hands that came on with her in the package. So, if you only want her to have one weapon, and, just have one, just like style pose hand, I guess you could do that. But for me, I feel like this is a Spawn figure. The Spawn figure should be loaded with weapons, and that she is. But before we get to that, we should also mention that she has a Spawn display stand, and you saw that I had her on it at the start of the review just because I find it easier to have her, up here. Oh, I forgot to mention she also has toe articulation. How could I forget about the toe articulation? But yeah, she does have that. In case you're worried about does she not have toe articulation, no, she does. I just forgot to mention it. But yeah, so there you go. And then as far as other accessories go, she has a chain. And I think this is a real metal chain, which is kind of cool. And it did actually come on one of the accessories, but yeah, it can come off pretty easily. It was just like loosely wrapped around it. So if you want to give a character a chain, you can do that. But then she also has a sword. And I think the sword looks pretty good. I like the detail on there. I like kind of how it has some little bit of gold on there, and then some spikes on the edge, because of course it has spikes on the edges there, and then it's got, you know, that. Then it's got some, you know, like some red wrappings around it. And yeah, so there's that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So there you go. She can have a sword. She can also have whatever this is supposed to be. I'm not entirely sure what type of weapon this is, but it's definitely a long spear type thing. So it's got this nice, almost gunmetal type, you know, blade on there, and it's nice and jagged, and it's not really sharp, but you could imagine that it is, you know, in universe. So there you go. It's got some wrapping here and here, and then it's got this, you know, darker. This is like a real gunmetal color. For this, and then you get some spikes here on the edge, so you could use this as like a blunt weapon with this side, and then you could use it as like a stabby, slicey weapon on the other side. So there you go, that can be pretty fun. But then she also has some guns. I mean, she had a little ammo thing on her shoulder, so you would imagine that she has guns. And which one should we start with? I think we should start with this one here. So this is a pretty cool looking assault rifle. I don't know guns all too well, but you got some wrappings here with the 2 magazines, so there you go. Then you can see you have like some wires on this side here, and you got like some scopes and sights and more sights and more scopes and a stock and a barrel and more stuff. And yeah, you got some you got like a little screw there, and then I don't know what exactly is going on here, but yeah, I would imagine that, like, you know, this is maybe somewhat realistic. I'm not entirely sure. Any weapons experts, you can let me know, like, how would something like this work? Just like you could ask me how something like this could work. And this thing is super crazy. It's definitely some sort of a sniper rifle type thing, and let's face it, this looks like something out of Borderlands. So, yeah, you got this nice long barrel here, and then you got some wrappings around it to, I guess, attach this extra piece on here. You got a nice magazine there, and then on the other side, you got a whole bunch of different scopes and tubes and cylinders and all of that on this side, which I guess these are supposed to be sights, but, like, why are there, like, 15 of them? So, I don't know, but, yeah, there you go. So there's that. It's got a nice color to it. And then last but not least, this gun I think is hilarious. If you could call it a gun, I think this is more like 15,000 guns put together. But yeah, you have this thing. And if you look at it like from a distance, it looks like it's just one, you know, massive gun. But if you look at it up close, you can see that it's actually like a whole bunch of different guns just kind of fused together. So you got like 3 different pistols just back here. So you got this one, you got this one, and you got this one. And then you got kind of like a rocket launcher type thing with like an assault rifle. There's an assault rifle right here. And then you got this, you know, magazine that's kind of coming out the side there. You got almost like an Uzi over here. And then you got like a, you know, a magazine up here. You got like a little carrier. And then if you flip it around to this side, you got even more stuff to, you know, see, like, you know, like more details and whatnot. So I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but I will say it is accurate to when she first becomes She-Spawn. I'll show you what the side of the box there. But yeah, so when she first becomes She-Spawn, she gets this thing just magically. And yeah, I have no idea how this is actually supposed to work, but it is accurate nonetheless. And I have to say, when I have this figure, I feel like it only makes sense that she has this kind of weapon. And what I've found specifically with this weapon is that it's best, if you want her to hold it in one hand, give her this barrel here. or this grip, I should say. So if you want her to hold it with one hand, I would suggest her holding onto it with this one. And that's just because I feel like it's easiest for her hands. Her hands aren't very big, and the grip is a little tight and a little small. So I would recommend that you, have it in, just holding on to that one side there. So I'll just, show it off. Basically, it just kind of fits in there. And then there you go. Now she's ready to rock and roll with whatever this thing is and whatever carnage this thing can make. I'm sure it can make a lot. And also send a lot of bullets going in basically every direction. But yeah, so there's that. And then I guess we'll just have it be like that. Because now we have to talk about the box. This massive box with some nice artwork there. I like the detail there. And then you get, over here, you get Spawn, you get She-Spawn. I still don't like the name. I think the name is kind of weird, but yeah, so regardless, that's what she is. You got McFarlane Toys, Spawn, you got a picture of the figure on that side, and then on the back, you get a nice little shot of her with her stuff. You can kind of see how this gun came in the package with like the chain wrapped around it. So there you go, there's that. And then you get some of the other weapons on display there on the side. Then you get some information on McFarlane's socials. And then on this other side here, you get a picture of her from the comic when she first becomes She-Spawn. So she's basically posed like this, and you have this crazy gun that's like, in her right hand. And she's got like some necroplasm energy in her left hand. And yeah, so that's about it. And then there is some information down there. And then on the top, there's not really a whole lot, so that just about covers it. So I will say it's good to be back with the Spawn action figures. I think these things are a lot of fun, and yeah, I took a break because I wanted to, see some other stuff, but I will say it's good to be back to, basically my roots, not necessarily the classic figures, but, it's good to have, like the modern Spawn universe figures, and yeah, so if you like that kind of stuff, and you like this figure, you like this, review, whatever it might be sure to leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you think of this figure. Do you think it's good? Do you not like it? Whatever it might be. If you want to see more content like this, you can definitely subscribe and stay tuned for that, because the Spawn stuff will be continuing. But other than that, I do hope that you enjoyed, and I do hope that I will see you all later.